One Sunday morning in the holiness meeting, the Holy Spirit spoke to me about becoming an officer. I broke out into a sweat. I cannot explain it. I turned pale, and I could see my mother was concerned, and she asked me if I was feeling all right. I said yes, but I never told her what happened. And I looked up in the band, and I looked at Jim, and I thought I could never give him up. Never give him up.
It was not in the emotion of the meeting. It was not under pressure of anybody speaking to me, but it was on a rather quiet Sunday morning as I stood alone on the crest of the hill that God spoke very clearly to me. I want you to be a Salvation Army officer. This is the way. Walk ye in it.
I knew that at some time I had to tell Jim about the calling. And I was very nervous about it. I said to Jim, honey, God has called me to be a Salvation Army officer. A big smile came over his face. I thought, well, evidently he's glad to get rid of me. And he said, strange that you should tell me that tonight. God called me to be an officer. He said, I heard the words so plain, this is the way, walk ye in it. No one will ever know the peace that came over my heart, the joy. They can be censorious, they can be judgmental, they can accuse you of the wrong motives, and they can be a discord in the Corps. But love your people. I was on the girls' basketball team in our Corps in Kentucky, and one of the ladies of the Corps who was very faithful in the Corps came to a game and saw me in shorts. They were not shorty shorts. They were what we'd call today knickknackers, down to the knee. And she said, I'll never come back to the Corps again. Our preacher's wife wearing shorts. And her sister said, yes, and wearing makeup. Of course, I believe when the old barn needs painting, paint it, and I did. Margaret quit the Corps for a year. But once a month, I kept going to her house, knocking on the door, because my father's words came to me, love your people. I'd say, Margaret, I love you. She'd slam the door. A year later, on Mother's Day, I looked at the chapel door, in walked Margaret. When the altar call was given, she ran to the altar, she knelt down, and she sobbed her heart out. And as I put my arm around her at the altar, I said, thank you, Dad. Love your people. Margaret became one of my dearest friends and helpers in that Corps because I loved her. Love your people no matter what they do.